What to do? I think the biggest thing is awareness. We have to become aware that sound is a powerful force in our lives and that noise is a powerful detriment to our health. And we've just we were figuring out that very loud sounds are damaging to the ear, but moderate level sounds really have an enormous impact on our health. And I think, people want to be healthy. They want to make healthy choices, but if they don't know that this moderate level cacophony, just even listen to the sound in here. You can make quieter projectors, you can make quieter lights. If this was a priority, it would be done. Think about an airport. An airport is a noisy place inherently. Planes are noisy, conveyor belts are noisy, but you don't have to have, the little carts that are bringing people around just going beep, beep, beep. I was in an airport in Copenhagen. It is possible. They had a little bell. It was fine. They came around, ding, 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 ding. People got out of the way. Every time a boarding pass is scanned, beep, beep, beep. The poor people doing this all day long, but you can hear it 3 gates away. We're listening to little Tommy playing his video game. We don't all have to listen to it. It's just a matter of being aware, and we can silence all of the notifications that we have, and that makes a big difference. At the supermarket, again, I was in New York with my little grandson, and at the supermarkets now, beep, 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 as you're checking out. And my daughter-in-law says, would you take Julian to another part of the store? Because last time I was here and he was asleep, as he was right then, the beeping woke him up. The beeping truck conundrum. So, again, this is where we have to be thinking about nuance and about situations. Because in a construction zone, beeping trucks can save lives. But does every van, does every car, does every vehicle need to have a beep? And these are loud beeps. And if we think about how our society works, it is very easy to count how many people have been injured by a truck backing up. So you can quantify that. God help you to quantify all of the health hazards and the impact that all of this excessive sound has on our brains and our bodies and our ability to think and to feel. We can silence our devices. We don't need to hear every time our neighbor locks and unlocks their car door. I think that if we ask for it, people will make quieter appliances. This is already starting to happen. It didn't used to be that they would rate appliances by how much sound they made. But people are becoming a little bit more aware that this is a thing, but not enough at all. And we can learn from nature. So owls have to silence the sound that they make. They're swooping down on this little mouse. But if the mouse heard the owl, he'd run away, and the owl wouldn't have any dinner. There are ways of silencing the movement of air. The Navy has been doing this for years. They've been doing it since World War II, certainly. They've been silencing their ways to silence propellers. They're gun silencers, for Christ's sake. Then the sound, the impulse sound of a gun is really hard to silence. And yet, if you want to, you can do it. So it's possible. We can reduce noisy lawn care. Now we don't have the gas-powered leaf blowers in Evanston, but we still have people with their little edging machines, which are gas-powered. They're 2-stroke engines. They're really, really loud. We have to think about, do we want this? And it's not the landscaper's fault. It's our fault. We can, lawn care is a luxury. And I think initially we may need to pay more, to have. I've had a spring cleanup with brooms and rakes. It was great. And the guys doing the work were so much happier. So it is our responsibility. It really is our responsibility, the choices we make. And fortunately, noise does not accumulate in the environment. It's not like toxic chemicals. When we turn it off, it's off. Isn't that great? That's so hopeful. So, in hospitals and in intensive care units, you have to have all kinds of monitoring devices. But people have become sensitive to this and have really been putting some effort into making intensive care units. It's not true for in general hospital environments, but it's really when people realize how important a quieter place is to health, there will be movement. And then at the same time, there are two sides to this, right? Sound is our enemy and our ally for brain health. And for these premature babies, when the babies were listening to mom's voice and her heartbeat, they could measure the auditory cortex and the degree of white matter and the development there. And the babies who were able to hear this very important sound actually developed better. Also, people have been looking at music therapy and finding that a live voice can calm down a baby. And we've all done this. We've held babies, you sing to them, right? And their little heartbeat slows down, they calm down. It doesn't happen just to music being blasted. It doesn't happen to the quiet, but if somebody is there singing a song, it matters. Reverberation. So what about our spaces? Reverberation is a prolongation of sound due to reflection of sound waves from surfaces in an enclosure. So if you can listen to a regular sound.
Many factors influence speech intelligibility.
I'm going to play this again.
Many factors influence speech intelligibility.
This is reverberation.
Many factors influence speech intelligibility.
Can you hear it? Can you guys hear this well enough in the back? I have no control over the sound levels. Anyway, but see, the sound is bouncing off all of these surfaces, and passively, you can acoustically treat spaces with foam tiles, rugs, and tapestries so that the sound is not going to be bouncing off of these surfaces, and you will be able to hear better. There are also active acoustics, so now there is some technology where sound spaces are monitored and the sound is modified electronically to make it quieter in certain places. And it's also kind of the, like in some restaurants, they have been doing this. And I've been in these restaurants. It feels kind of weird. Maybe they'll get better at it, but it feels a little unnatural. I think people just need to be quieter. Maybe just turn down the music a little bit.